Welcome back to your weekly roundup of everything that happened in Zenless Zone 0, where we will cover everything that you missed inside and outside of the game. In the background, you'll be seeing my Yidhari pulls, so take a guess as to how many pulls it takes for me to get her. But otherwise though, starting off with in-game news, we've got a new event coming on the 12th, with none other than our lovable Shell. She'll be helping out in the 141 Eco Art Exhibition. As with all 141 events, this will be a battery exchange event, where each day when you first spend your energy, you will get an item that can be redeemed over by Shell or some various rewards over the next 2 weeks. And then on Friday, we have a Deadly Assault reset. The bosses on rotation will be the new Wandering Hunter, the Miasma Priest, and the return of the Autonomous Assault Unit Typhon, which is that boss that you have to parry 3 times in a row to stagger. Not only is it a Deadly Assault reset though, but with it being the second week of the second half of the patch, it also means that patch 2.4 is fast approaching. And so we are very likely to get a patch 2.4 livestream from the devs this coming Friday. In the livestream, we will of course finally get details about the kits of Dylan and Banyue, as well as any other big implementations for patch 2.4. Although honestly, you'll hear more about it in just a sec over in the speculation zone, but patch 2.5 is the one to keep an eye out for. Meanwhile, over in the social media side of things, firstly, there is another birthday to celebrate. Or rather, I guess there is 2 birthdays, or are 2 birthdays, since it was the birthday of both Orphe and Magus just last week. So happy birthday to them and anybody else who has a birthday in the coming week. But also, with Yidhari releasing, there is a Twitter event called Spaced Out Yidhari, where you can take this blank template of Yidhari and in her little thought bubble, either write or draw whatever you feel that Yidhari is thinking. If you then post that image along with the corresponding hashtags, you'll stand a chance to win a Bangbu Plus charm or a $50 Amazon gift card. The link to the tweet with the image as well as the hashtags can be found in the description below. Unfortunately, there are no Polychrome reward events to be had there. However, if you would like to get some more Polychrome, especially with Dylan and Banyue on the horizon, why not try using LD Shop? Especially considering you can get top-up options cheaper through LD Shop than you would in-game, with discounts of up to nearly 22% for new users. For example, purchasing an internet membership through LD Shop costs only $3.87 compared to the $5 if you were to purchase it in-game. And topping up is really easy. All you need is your in-game user ID and your server. Once you fill those in, you can click on top up, choose your payment method, and within seconds your order is completed and you can see the rewards in-game. And yes, you can even get the double bonus for first time top-ups. LD Shop is a trusted and authorized service that is 100% safe and legitimate. Also, if you use my link in the description when you register on LD Shop, you will also get a 5% off coupon to use. And if you spend over $80, you will also gain a VIP membership, which can earn you free internet memberships and regular coupons. Once again, you can check out the description and the pinned comment to start saving with LD Shop. Moving on to the speculation zone. Now, even though patch 2.4 is just around the corner, there are some much more exciting news for the future in patch 2.5. This includes some details for a co-op mode, as well as a new upgrade system that will buff a plethora of older units, as well as kit adjustments for both Soldier 11 and Grace. Firstly, the co-op mode. In beta versions of 2.5, there are several new entries in the code that indicate things that would imply a co-op system, such as match-made lobbies, or preset messages being able to be sent, or tooltips for team compositions. This would be a brand new game mode where you and 2 others will take on some sort of PvE combat. But even beyond the individual lobbies, there could also be a server-wide progression where each time you participate in this PvE mode, it adds to some sort of overall progress bar. Think of it as like a pseudo global raid of sorts. But it is not just these system tooltips that indicate a co-op mode, but several agents also appear to have a co-op specific kit change. The most obvious being the supports, for example, Astra Yao. So unfortunately no, you won't be able to just use her and then go AFK after you spam her skill. The changes do seem related to her Holo Zero tactical prism gear though, what with making Astra a little bit more actively involved in combat. The other agents with some co-op adjustments include Lucia, and most importantly, Lighter. To stop Lighter from being restricted to just a fire and ice buffer, which would really restrict your ability to use him, since now you'd have to rely that your 2 teammates are okay using ice and fire agents to complement your pick in Lighter. In the co-op mode specifically, Lighter's effects will now buff not just ice and fire, but all elements instead. It is possible that these are not the only adjustments to kits, as other agents could also receive some kit updates either directly or through certain aspects that you can acquire when actually doing this game mode. But time will tell, as it is still early on, but at least the devs have stuck to their word and they have been working on co-op in the background. So it'll be exciting to see what the final product will look like. Next up, a rather small little thing is that it is reported that Ye Xingwang is going to be an attack type agent, which honestly kind of makes sense. If she really is going to be touted as some crazy strong Void Hunter tier agent, well, we've already had one that's an anomaly and another that is a rupture agent, so the only DPS type left would be an attacker agent. But let's not forget about some of the older agents though, especially because in the 2.5 beta, it also appears that a new system will be in place that will let you upgrade a lot of the older agents. This new system will supposedly let you unlock additional potentials for characters, with Grace, Soldier 11, and Bernice being the first batch. But for certain agents, they will have several more potential levels that you can unlock. For example, Ellen and Sanby have not just one, but up to 6 different levels, complete with an additional awakening interface as you upgrade through these different levels. The way you upgrade these potentials appear to be from a store where you can exchange materials to buy these upgrades. From a surface glance, these buffs are purely numerical buffs to multipliers already in the kits. For example, increasing crit damage on Soldier 11 and Ellen Joe, or increasing the aftershock damage buff on Soldier Anby, or increasing the electric damage on Grace. Since these are rather simpler buffs, it is expected that these potential level increases can be farmed very naturally as a free-to-play player. But on the topic of Soldier 11 and Grace though, not only will they be receiving these potential unlocks, but in patch 2.5, it also looks like these two will be receiving full kit updates similar to Ellen and Soldier Anby's. Soldier 11's kit will allow her to chain her auto attack strings much more seamlessly, while giving her some additional tools to enhance these auto attacks. Firstly, her skill will be adjusted to let her immediately chain into the 4th hit of her basic string, and also, after using the skill, she will enter an auto block stance that will let her automatically counter an incoming attack, which will then increase her crit damage. Think of this as similar to the one Evelyn gear where she will auto parry an incoming attack. Now, this counter state can also be entered from using an ultimate, chain attack, or a defensive assist. Her basic attack string is also updated to have a 5th hit, and also, dodging an attack will no longer reset her attack string anymore. Arguably one of the worst parts about Soldier 11, considering that she was so basic attack focused, and then dodging an attack, which is pretty vital to the game, would reset any progress. And as for Grace, similar to Soldier 11, her basic attack string is updated to not be interrupted by using dodges or EX specials. But the big change is on her skill. She will have a new mechanic called Zap, as well as Overload. After using her ultimate, she gains 25 stacks of Overload, and she will consume these Overload stacks to gain Zap. Whenever she does convert these Overload stacks, the next time she throws out a grenade, an additional grenade will be thrown, which triggers a bloom, dealing a chunk of electric damage. As for how you convert these stacks, while you have Overload, by holding down the skill, Grace will continuously throw out grenades, gaining a stack of Zap with each grenade thrown. So basically, after using an ultimate to get a bunch of Overload, you hold down the skill button and Grace starts fragging out, continuously throwing grenades and continuously gaining Zap charges, which will then allow her to occasionally throw out an additional grenade, triggering that a bloom effect. So there is a lot to look forward to, not just because of the upcoming patch 2.4 livestream, but also in the future with all of these 2.5 things in the works. Although, as always, anything shown off for patch 2.5 can absolutely be changed before the patch arrives. But it does give the co-op or the Soldier 11 and Grace enjoyers some really good hopes for the future. Otherwise, thank you all for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this video, then liking, commenting, and subscribing is greatly appreciated. But until next time, bye bye!